Lance, and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. We got some rain. Woohoo! Over this last weekend that's just gone, on the Friday and the Friday evening, it started raining, and on the Saturday it kept coming. But look, it was only light, but it ended up being almost 90 millimetres. So I'll take the camera for a bit of a lap down to the dams just to show you. As you're coming from the house looking at Bundy Bear's shed, the dam on the right is around a third full, and the one on the left wouldn't be a quarter full. The one on the right has, a big paddock up near it to have a bit of runoff. So we did get a little bit of runoff, not a great deal, but anyway, that was all right. Look, we're just thankful for what we got. The tanks are full and the paddock's nice and green. I suppose in a couple of weeks' time we'll have to do a bit of a slash. Hop on the tractor and do some slashing, or I think you call it topping overseas. Yeah, but you've got it all wrong, it's slashing. So, look, it's early Monday morning, pardon me, and Bundy Bear's shed at the moment is ground zero. Looks like a bloody bomb went off in here, and there's a couple of reasons for that. And I'll take you for a bit of a walk later on, but there is just shit everywhere just at the moment. And the reason being is my big old Macson Lathe, 1953 Macson, I haven't used it in a long time, and the last couple of jobs I did with it, I did for other people, just helping them out a bit, doing flywheels for tractors and things like that. So I haven't used it in ages, and it was one of those things I was starting to put shit all around it. So I thought I'd move it on and get the room and try and resort this shed, and just try and get a lot more, get a bit more space, and look, have a big tidy up, because over time I've just finished the 135, and I've still got this little Fergie on the go, but once you've finish something, you end up with shit everywhere. Well, I do anyway. Little boxes of nuts and bolts and fittings and shit everywhere. But anyway, that's just how it is. Pardon me. So I was talking to my friend Scott the other day, and Scotty, he used to work for me, and he come into work for a yarn to pick me brains about a couple of John Deere tractors, and he's got a 6600 John Deere, and when you put it into top gear it just labors down. So what they had a problem with was the brake retractors. They got a little retractor in the back of the brake piston, and originally they were 14mm brake retractors, and sometimes they just push out, and they were designed as your brake material wore, the piston would push out and they'd slip in the housing a bit, but at times they'd get to a funny place where they wouldn't retract properly. And so your brakes are dragging all the time, but it's only really noticeable in top gear that it's giving you drama. So we come to have a yarn about that, and we just talked about getting the hips off, and John Deere's brought out a 15mm retractor now, and it's got, the coil can't get so coil bound, it's got a different design on the spring, and that's the fix. But John Deere says that you need a new piston, and you need the whole bit. Well, you do need the new retractors, the 15mm retractors, but where they sit into the brake piston, the hole is 14mm on the old ones, and it's 15mm on the new one. So they're saying you need the whole new upgrade piston. Well, you don't really. I've done them in the past by just machining those 3 holes for the retractors in the old piston. As long as your piston's all right, your surface area's okay, you machine them out to 15mm and you save yourself quite a bit of money. So we were talking about that, and he's got a lot of irons in the fire, bits and pieces happening, and he said, I've been buying a few lathes and bits and pieces, and I said, I'm looking to sell my old Macson over here, out at home there. So and he said, I'll come out and have a look. So last week one afternoon, he come out for a yarn and a look, and so he's agreed to buy the big lathe off me and the manifold grinder, which the last time I used the manifold grinder was for Maltese's Hart Par, and before that it had been ages since it had been used. So, but yeah, Scotty's setting up a bit of a workshop and a bit of a museum-y thing in time. And yeah, so I said to him, yeah, I'm going to need a hand to get this big lathe to where we can get it loaded with a truck. And if you could give me a working man out here this morning, on Monday morning. But on Saturday it was raining and I was looking at it thinking, yeah, buddy, I don't know, I might start this job, I don't know how it's going to take. So we had to get the wiring all taken out. So the wiring for the hoist used to come down through a big switch box on the big lathe and then off to the hoist. And so we had the breakers and all that in there. So we do have a breaker and an earth leakage over in the corner, and that's all turned off at the moment. But I do have to run a bit of a support now from the wall across to the hoist before the sparky will wire it up. So I've got to put the support there, and it's only going to be a bit of 40mm box section, and so the conduit will run down through there, and that'll get the power from the wall across to the hoist. So I need to try and get that done today sometime, so I can get him out through the week and just check everything out. Yeah, the shed's pretty good. Over the hoist bay there's an old mercury vapour light. I'll probably get that taken out and put another one of these LEDs in. They seem to be a good thing. But in reality, I usually drive into the hoist and the light's at the wrong end. I could do the light up the other end. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So Saturday, yeah, I got the old forky going, and man, is that lathe heavy. My lathe is a Komatsu 2.5 tonne, and man, I've lifted whole arse ends of tractors up with it. It lifts its weight, I'm sure, and it's really got some go to it. And well, it was really flat lifting the gearbox end of this big old lathe. So I ended up jacking it up and hopping up the other end of the lathe on the tailstock end with a bottle jack. Then I got the Sparex splitting stand. I got one of them put on a web underneath it, and that kept the other end off about 6 inches, 150mm. And that way, as I could move the front of the gearbox, I could actually, from time to time, I could jack it up and turn the stand and sort of steer it a bit. So we had to get the main gearbox just out the door on the lube bay, probably 2 foot, and that gave us enough room to bring the back end across into the hoist bay where the vehicle lift is, and then pull him back in. Pardon me. So it was one of those jobs I started, and then it got dark on Saturday evening, and I thought, well, I can't leave the bloody thing hanging halfway out the door. And so I was still in here late on Saturday evening getting it sorted. But anyway, look, it saved Scotty sending a working man out to help. I saved him a few bob there. And yesterday I messaged him, with the photos that it was there where it can be got. And yeah, he said, oh, okay. He said, he'll get some money over to me and get the truck organised. There's a local crane place in town he uses with and I've got it jacked up at the end so you could actually slide a tilt tray in under it, and then if the tilt tray can winch the heavy end up, I can help lift it up with the forklift at the other end. But to get the forklift round this end, I had to shift the TE20 and make a little snaky track in there to get it in there. And when I was getting the lathe towards the door, I had to have the forklift, and there's a little step. It's only like 50mm going out the door, but I had to go up and down, and you got to get a new grab and lift and move it a bit, then sit it down and come in another angle. And well, I got the bloody forklift bogged out there, didn't I? In the rain, and it was just the steer wheels, and it was just from, I had me big wheels, me main weight carrying wheels up on the concrete, but because you're screwing around, well, and it was a rainy day, it sort of just dropped down. So next thing I got my old Land Cruiser out there in the rain, I'm winching the forklift out. So I got the forklift out, and that's when I had enough room to come around this other end here now. So certainly been exciting times. You may remember a couple of weeks ago I got a drill press from old Cyril's place. We helped him clean the shed out, and we got a drill press and we fired it up and the smoke come out. So I have a new motor over there for that, and yesterday I sat the motor in, and the pulleys are only engaged by so much on the motor, so I've got to lift the motor up and just drill a couple more holes on the bracket, so that may be today's job. When I've got the Sparky coming to do the hoist, I'm going to try and have that motor ready for him so he can just run it into the standard on-off switch on the drill press. So I'll have it all ready to rock and roll so he can just pop in and have a flick and away we go. So that'll be a good thing. But the bay up the back there where the lathe was and the manifold grinder, holy shit, there's some junk there. And I used to have some things, under the lathe, you know what it's like if you got a shed full of shit like me. But anyway, you find little corners for things, and that's good, that's out of the way. And so over the next few days, or a couple of weeks I suppose, this whole back end of the shop is going to get a whole new revamp. These shelves behind me, they're going, and I'm going to try and line them up around the wall a bit better. Mainly to give us extra couple of working bays or a couple of tractor parking bays, more like it, in the main shed here. So I've got a lot of mucking around to do, and it's one of those jobs, and like my mate Rocket, there's a cane knife, a special cane knife that you used to put on the sugar cane and run down it to get all the leaves and that off. A bloke gave me one time, brand new, so I got onto Rocket yesterday and said, "You want this for your collection?" Yep, so he'll come and get that today, I suppose, or sometime. I've got a heap of old oil cans sitting up on the top there that I don't use, have no interest in, so I'm going to, there's a couple of blokes in the club that actually put displays of that sort of stuff on, workshop stuff, so I'm going to give them to them. I've got an old blowtorch and an old soldering iron that has the shellite or whatever it was in them, and just a few old things I've had for years and years. I've had them for 20 years. I can remember shifting them from our main workshop 3 workshops ago. So yeah, I'm just sorry, I'm just looking out the door there, and we're babysitting, not Sansa, not the dog you saw in the last one. This is another one. This is Tim's ex-missus, or the grandkids' mum. She's been in trouble. She's got a dog barking in town a little bit, so she's brought her out here for a bit of a rest. Yeah, apparently she's got a neighbour that's bloody leaving notes on her door, and your dog was barking while you're at work today, and so, and she's got 2 dogs, so we've taken one dog out of that environment for the moment, and it's out here, and we're just going to see if the whinging still goes on. And but I think she's got a little collar she's putting on to slow it up with her. Anyway, we have another dog. There's doggy daycare out here, and Kelly gets on with all of them. So, but yeah, I was just seeing them across the paddock there, and they were snooping around, and I was just making sure they weren't up to mischief doing something. Back again. They were just snooping around where a kangaroo had been. But one was over there sniffing, and the other one was looking, and I was thinking, oh, don't tell me they're going to race off. But they're all good dogs. So. Yeah, no stew last week because it was the end of the financial year, and Ross, our main bloke that you all talk to on the phone, when you ring, he was having a break. His missus works at the school, or one of the schools in town, and so it's school holidays here now. Where last week was school holidays, and this next week will be school holidays. So Ross has taken a break and gone on a holiday with his missus for a couple of weeks. So. Yeah, the end of the financial year was here, so we were doing stock take and just making sure all the figures were ready to rock and roll and all that. But we are through that now, so we're a bit understaffed, a bit short-staffed at work. And I said to Jude, oh, I can go in like today if you want me to. She said, no, we're right. I think they'll have to piss me off out of it, really. Which just suits me just fine. I'll just move around here. I've got the sun. The sun's just coming through the trees and hitting me in the face. Yeah, see that? There you go. Yeah, wild looking bastard, really. Haven't had a haircut for ages, but I'm going in tomorrow afternoon. Tuesday arvo after work, I'm going in for a bit of a tidy up. Not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, we're going up to Billawheeler for the rally up there, and we're going to take the 135 up. I still haven't done the finished video on the 135 series, you know, the walk around. I haven't got there yet. I have a proper pressure control hitch for a 100 series Massey Ferguson that I'm putting on the back of that when I get a chance, but the plates were missing. And yeah, people are saying, oh, your plates aren't there. And I didn't really know, to tell you the truth. And anyway, Colin Taylor over in Ireland, he's got a set and he's posting them over. So I said, yeah, make sure you, I gave him my PayPal address, bundybearsshed@gmail, and I said, make sure, you know, whatever you want from them and whatever postage put there. And anyway, he said to me the other day, he said, oh, they're on their way. And I said, well, I haven't seen a bill. You know, you need to send me an account for them. And he said, oh, no, should be right. So, look, thanks, Cole, that's a great gesture. But, yeah, we'll probably get even with you. We'll see. I might be hitting you up for your address and shirt size or something like that. So, we'll work. So one good turn deserves another, so we'll see. So, yeah, I have the proper plates, and people were kind enough to put up on Facebook the measurements, you know, where they must have had the plates missing too, and they put the measurements up and all that. But to get the genuine ones is good. There's a couple of things with restoring tractors that have been pissing me off a little bit, and one of them is that when you buy zinc plated stuff, the standard zinc plating is a silver, and most of the tractors, when they come out of the factory, anything that had zinc plating on it was silver. But a lot of the aftermarket stuff, and even on my 135, a lot of the aftermarket stuff was gold. Now, it turns out that once they have the bloody dogs are playing in the background there. It turns out that once you get the zinc coating on, if you want the gold, you actually drop it into another tub of stuff, and the gold goes onto the zinc coating. So it's an extra layer, which, knowing the aftermarket people for being tight asses like they can be, I'm surprised that they do it, unless they do it another way. And so, hey, sit down, will you? Kelly and Summer are having a red. They're tear-assing around the 2030 tractor and just bloody running amok. But yeah, so a lot of the zinc plating is all different colours, and you may remember a while back that I was complaining about the gold wheel nuts on the 135, and James from Sparix, he said, oh, ours are silver, so we got some silver on there. So I'm happy with that now. And would you like piss off? So if you're on Facebook, there's Classic Tractor Restoration, James Carter, and over in England, I believe, I think. And he does some of his own zinc plating, and he did a David Brown, and he showed me some photos of that. So I thought, well, that's the go. I'm just going to do it myself. So we have a zinc plating setup coming. It's on its way now. We've ordered it, and so there's a bit of a learning curve coming up. I can't actually get over the zinc. Once you have the gold plating on these other parts, I can't actually run them through the system again and recoat them. You've got to have something new, you know, like a new metal surface, or you can these bloody dogs must have jumping beans. And yeah, you can't coat over the gold. You've got to get back to a bare metal surface. So I think there's a bath I can put it in to get that off, then redo them. So everything will be the right colour, and all the little brackets and all that sort of thing. And the electroplating kit that does the zinc, there's a chance that I can do the chrome or nickel with it as well. So, but I've got a lot to learn first, so we'll see how we go. So that's coming up. We had these bloody dogs make me laugh. Anyway, another thing is a couple of gaskets for the Fergies we find really hard to get, and one of them's, you know, the little plate at the back of the head where the water manifold goes up in through the head. there's a little diamond plate there, you can't buy that on its own. We found a couple of water pumps that were coming up without kits, and come on, piss off. Piss off outside. And yeah, you can actually hear them huffing and puffing on the thing. It's not a bloody porn move flick, it's just bloody dogs barking, dogs huffing. Yeah, so there's a fellow down the end of our building, and he does laser engraving and all that sort of thing. So we took a couple of samples down to him, and we said, how much is that? And he said, oh, you know, 30 of them on that sheet will be $40. We supply the gasket paper we want it made out of and all that sort of thing. So they scanned it, they've got the file on file now, and he said $30. So anyway, we said, oh, okay, we'll do them. So we got them, and they do have a slightly brown edge on them, but look, the gasket, they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're really good. And they can be adjusted in the CAD program to get the holes perfect and things like that. So anyway, that was $40, and then, so we thought, well, this is a good thing. So we'll go down and we all supply the stuff and the gaskets and, you know, a good sample. And he says, oh, you can just scan them, then you tell the computer what hole size it is and the measurement from here to there, and just, and away she goes, and you do a test run on a bit of paper, and away you go. Then you just set the laser going and off you go. So anyway, we thought that was a good thing, and you know, due to go down and take some down and say, what's this going to cost? Oh, I don't know, we'll look after you. And so he's a bugger for getting anything done with, and he's a bugger for getting a bill out of him. And the wrap on my Land Cruiser, it was, well, I got that in January, and 30th of June he just gave me the bill for it. So, and we've been down saying, you haven't sent us a bill for this yet or that yet. Oh yeah, I'll get to it. But the reason I'm talking about all this is he dropped the billing for some of these gaskets we've had made, and the first one was $40 for 30, but the next bill was $140 and $160, and we're thinking, boy, we've been selling them way below cost. We were just working on the square thing, on the surface area, the gasket paper, and he said, oh, we just set it up and go and do something else, and does it. So anyway, the bills really blew out. We've been selling gaskets for way below cost. So I said to Jude, we might look into doing this ourselves, I think. So we looked around for a laser engraver, and there's a little K40, little Chinese thing, and look, it's very popular because of price, but there's a lot of little mods to do on it. And I thought, well, do I buy that one for $400? I think it's $400 and something, and then, or do I buy the $1,600 one or the $3,000 one, and work with that? So what we've done, we've actually bought the little cheap one, and people are cutting gaskets. It'll cut 3mm wood, things like that. So it's plenty good enough for the gaskets we'd like to do. So we've bought one of those, the cheap one, and that's what I'm going to learn on. We're going to run our own gaskets. Not all our gaskets, just the ones that you can't buy in a kit from Sparex or something like that. There's little extra gaskets, and I've been watching quite a bit of YouTube on it lately, and one bloke had a Honda motorbike points cover, and he just sat it on his computer, on his scanner, on his printer, scanned it, then popped it into Inkscape, and I'm not sure what he'd done from there yet. But he made it into a vector file and put it through, and he printed it out and he sat it on, and she's just duck's nuts. So I do have a 3D printer, so I have some idea of that, but I'm certainly not all that handy at it. But I thought it'd just be a good thing. We'll learn to do that ourselves. It's only got a 12-inch by 8-inch bed on it, so that limits the size of the gasket, which in reality a lot of the little tractors we work on, that will be plenty. And look, it'll be a learning process, and if we think, shit, this is good, we can upscale and make ourselves a bit more handy, or offer a better product than what's out there with some of the gaskets. Some of the T20 carby gaskets, the 24T gaskets, you sit them on, but you've got to cut the hole out for the jets and things like that. So I think there's scope for doing some of those gaskets better. whether I'm bright enough to do it or not, who knows? We'll have a go. So we'll just see. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be working on at work. Well, I'll have it at home here for the moment. We've just cleaned up the top at work. You get a bit of junk over time. We've put extra pallet racking in, and the place is looking nice upstairs. We are looking at putting the business on the market in a little while. It's one of those things. I'll be 61 later in the year. Do you keep working until you're 70, 80 until you're rooted? Or while you've got a good business, you put it out there. So we're going to put it out there for sale over the next year and see how we go. The Bundy Bear shed, we keep that working. Hopefully we can keep Sparex involved in it, and we'll just see. So we may or may not. It's one of those things I sort of don't mind work, but you don't keep going until you're dead. You've got to play in the shed. So I had a visit from Plasma Dave the other day. Now Plasma Dave, he's in Bundy here, and he does. He's got a plasma cutter, and they make stuff for markets and things like that. So you'll see Plasma Dave in every comment. He says g'day, or they got some good rain or something. And he was in the other day, and there's a bit of a shout out for Dave. Guess it's going to cost you, Dave, eh? Everything's got a price on it. And but look, what he's doing, and this is part of tidying up the workshop upstairs at work. We're putting a bay there, and what he's doing, he's laser cutting these spanner racks, and so you can see the hooks there for the spanners. And what's that? 6 to 21, and this fella, 22 to 32. And this is a bit, for shipping and all that, this sits in there. The little one sits inside that one okay. So his missus wants him to put spanner on it, on the front. I didn't want spanner written on mine. I know what they are. $100 for the set, and that's supplied. They're powder coated. So I just got a set of them off Dave. We're putting a new workbench upstairs at work. Just if you get a warranty problem with a part, sometimes you've got to pull things apart and have a look. So at the moment the spanners are in a roll on the floor, so we're going to put them up. So look, you want some of them. Plasma Day will no doubt comment on this video. Just contact him direct. If I sell them, he couldn't afford the commission. So contact Dave direct if you want some. I've asked him to do me a Ferguson system sign with key hooks on the bottom, and they're probably 300 by 200, something like that. And I've asked him to do one of them in Fergie grey with the hooks on just as a key rack. So we'll see how that goes. He's got a wall plaque with the Ferguson system on, and but anyway, look, if you're interested in anything like that, just through my YouTube channel, just contact him and he'll give you his Facebook Messenger or whatever, however he wants to do it. So see how it goes. He'll be on his second million soon. He'll be selling that many of those. Okay, I'm going to go handheld now. I'll take you for a bit of a walk around. I'll show you where the bomb went off. I'm up this other end. I'll show you what we're up to with the drill press, and I'll take you for a walk down to the dams. Okay, this is the drill press. Now, to get the motor lined up, I've only got the bottom screws in, and I have to mark around here because the hole's up here. So I just have to mark that. Probably take this this locking screw out if I can. And just mark the holes and lift that up. I've got that pretty well lined up now, so that won't be too bad. But when I bring you around, this pulley, this shaft here, this pulley can actually come down now. You can see under there, it wasn't engaged enough. So look, that'll be a nice little tool. On that, on the shaft, I jumped on eBay to find a motor, and it's a 5/8 shaft motor. So I hopped on eBay and I found one, and it says 0.75 of a kilowatt, and it says 5/8 or 16mm shaft. And I thought, well, 5/8 and 16mm aren't the same. So I messaged the seller and said, that motor you got, is it 5/8, as in 625 thou, or is it 16mm? And they come back and said it's 16mm, but that's 5/8. And I said, no, it's bloody not. And I said, I've got a pulley to put on a drill press, and yeah, you got about 10 thou, your shaft's going to be 10 thou too big. They said, we sell heaps of them for that, they fit on perfectly. At 16mm, you can, it's only 0.01 of a millimetre, I think they were telling me. Or, anyway, it was all bullshit. And it fits on perfectly. And I thought, yeah, that's not quite right. So I didn't buy it off them. And I started looking around for an electric motor for the drill press. And yeah, look, I ended up going to Hare & Forbes. Hare & Forbes have the motor there for, oh look, I can't remember, 200 something bucks maybe. And of course it's made in China, but that's okay. But yeah, that's a proper 5-inch shaft motor. But yeah, this bloke on eBay, I think he was a little Asian fella, and he was saying, no, it fits, no worries at all. And I said, no, it doesn't. It can't possibly. Yeah, you get a 16mm bolt and it doesn't go through that pulley. Oh, we do that all the time. It fits. So anyway, you're full of crap. So that's the drill press. We'll, yeah, I'll take you for a walk over where the bomb went off. Okay, you can see the little TEA. She's had to be moved away and moved around, and I got the forky jammed up in through the back here, and I got bloody plastic pots, and that's a stand I use to stand on to work on the Land Cruiser. Oh, I bought a new pressure cleaner. That's a Chinese one off eBay. My other one was getting that weak. I thought it wasn't much of a thing, but yeah, that's supposed to have 4,000 something pound, and it seems to be good. So we'll see. Yeah, I'll probably show you that another day. All through down through here. Look at this for a bloody mess. I had some boards sitting up on this rail here, and they were pine, and the white ants got up into them. And you can see the track there, so I've cleaned that out, but all this stuff down here, that's part of the big clean up. And the lathe is here right next to the door, and I've got the big lathe up off the ground so we can get the tray of a tilt tray under it at least, and then yeah, it's got holes for lifting and all that on it, so we should be able to snig it up through there. I've got a lifting strap, couple of ton lifting strap on the back end there. Hey, there's a dog that's here for doggy daycare. And then this is where it all sat up through here. Now look at that, what a bloody mess. So the wiring's hanging off the hoist here. I used to have that bar there, that bit of 40mm coming out, then it went to the frame on the lathe here. It went across to that frame, where all the power box and all is there, and then it went to the manifold grinder and the hoist. So I'll come back around again, try and make sure I don't trip over bloody junk. You don't realise how bloody grubby you are until you do something like this. But I've got old nonpareil flywheels, and they're spare motors for the Alfred Herbert drill. I don't know what I'm doing with them. You know, I've kept a thing of wire. Who would know why I kept that? But anyway, the idea at the moment, pardon me, is to get this big old lathe out of here, I need to make a bar that comes from the corner post there, so that one there has to move across, and then that'll come right across to the top of the hoist, and you can see where the conduit is bent over there, and that's where the power will come in. So that'll be nice and straight, and it'll give us quite a bit of clearance. That'd be 3 metres, I'd reckon, up there. It's a fair height. So what we're looking at doing, this big sandblasting cabinet there, that is dirty. Like, it works well, but God, it makes a mess. You know, sand and that everywhere. So what we're looking at doing is the parts washer. I have a sink over there, so we're going to put the parts washer next to the sink, and so you can wash something in the parts washer, then rinse it off in the sink there. And so this fella's going over the other side. When we look over the back there, that other blast cabinet, that's the one that I put glass beads in for doing carburetors and soft metals. I want it over somewhere over here with the big one, so we have all the mess in the one area. Then I've just moved my little 6-ton super cheap hoist press over on top of there. Look, I don't use that often, but geez, that's a handy little thing. Yeah, they're well worth their $89 or whatever they are. But right along this wall here, and I may have to shift that big drill, I don't know, we're going to get all this shelving here. We're going to try and resort all this shelving. There's a lot of gaps and bits and rubbish in there, so I'm going to try and sort all of that and get that over there. There's a little Deltec rock hopper. Scotty's interested in that, so he's got a motorbike collection, so we'll talk to him about that. But yeah, a lot of this shelving is going to go, and that'll give me better access to the pallet racking. I've got good pallet racking in the shed here, but you know, due to tractors and that everywhere, I don't use it to the full advantage. So over that shelf over there is just full of junk, and most of that can be chucked away. So anyway, we'll come back around. Yeah, the folder, that's a handy thing. I use that quite often, just for little brackets, just little knickknacks. But I'm thinking of making a pallet for that and popping it up on the pallet racking and then popping it down when I need it. And also my wheel roller. It takes up a bit of real estate here, but I don't use it often, yet it's a handy thing. I don't want to get rid of it. So then this bench here, that's where I do a lot of filming on that bench when you can get to it. All bits underneath there from when I was doing the diff swap on the 135. This belt grinder, belt sander here, I'm going to make another stand for that and get that off this bench. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of shed stuff happening in the near future. There's a transmission stand in case I want to pull a gearbox out of something. And once again, it's a handy thing. I don't use it much, but it's quite handy. And then through here, that bench there, that bench is 20 foot long. You cannot get a thing on it. I've got a couple of interesting things here, and one of them's a plate off the old flywheel grinder down here, and then this bloke here, that's getting thrown out. That was a rotary table off the flywheel grinder, but this fella here, that's a big magnetic chuck, and that would be 400 across the top, I suppose. Yeah, I always thought I'd just make it fit me mill, or yeah, I'm still thinking of getting the new mill, but we'll just see. Yeah, I just got to machine a slight little hole in the mill, then I can put this big magnetic chuck on it. So just things I've kept. Down in under here, starter motors, alternators, generators, just old shit I've taken off tractors over time. I never look in there for a part, so I don't know, we'll deal with that in some way. And when you come up through all the rubbish here, you know, plumbing fittings and all that, so old toolbox is full of junk, so Yeah, look, it's as messy as it looks to be on camera. Okay, here we are at the banks of the dams. Now that's Bundy Bear's shed up the back. This is the dam on the left as we go up. So that's the one we used to pump out of normally. So it's yeah, it's not, oh well, it's got maybe a quarter full. You can hear the little toads binking and bonking. And this is the other one. Now the wind will probably be blowing this right out, the sound, so I'll try and go around and get my back to it. But that there is, yeah, that's the best we've seen there for a long time. So that's about a third full. It's not half, about a third. But yeah, that's nice. The dogs reckon it's great. They've got the swimming pool back in their resort. So where the dams actually go across and join each other, that's up there. So we've still got a fair way to go. But look, we're certainly thankful for that. It's a nice thing. So yeah, it looks like summer, I reckon. Oh, it might be a bit cold for a swim. But it makes you wonder though, they tear ass in here and run around. So anyway, it's looking okay. Looks like we have a southeasterly breeze up on the windmill there. So yeah, that's a good thing. That's our winter breeze. But anyway, yeah, certainly grateful to have a bit of water in the dam. But not full, but yeah, getting there. This is what they were doing when I was trying to film the stew before. You'll get her, Kelly. You'll get her. That's what they were doing before, and they race into the workshop and around, and hey, wouldn't it be great to have that much energy? Well, there's the job I've just done, and let's put a new pressure pump on the shed. The other one's way up behind the pallet racking, the old one that buggered up, and yeah, I just couldn't really get to it, so I've replumbed all this, and when we come around, okay, Summer, and yeah, we put new taps and just done a bit of plumbing. That main line that goes up and down along the shed, that's the same line we've always had, but I've had to rejig the inlet for the pump, and now I've got the pressure cleaner on. I used to have the shed set up so I could pressure clean it out, but that sort of disappeared with all the crap I got. So yeah, that's there. I still got to get rid of some of this junk. That was Dad's, and I've got boxes of plumbing fittings and all that everywhere. So yeah, big tidy up. I might even have a day off this week if I can, and yeah, just do a bit. Well, there you go. I had to shift where I was over near the TEA. The sun was coming in hot and strong, and yeah, just glaring out. With the dams down there, an interesting thing the other day was that Higgins Storm Chasing, which is a Facebook page we follow in town here, they said in Bundaberg on Saturday we had 58 millimetres, which is a bit over 2 inches, and that was the wettest day in Bundaberg since 2018 and the wettest July day since 2007. So we're just in a bit of a drought, and that's just how it is. We can't do much about that, but yeah, that's just what we have to do. Pardon me. So it's probably a little bit longer stew today, just because I didn't get one last week and I had a few things to show. I even had to put a new pressure pump on the shed here, so yeah, just all these little jobs getting in the road, so we'll see how we go. But okay, that's going to be it for this week. Thanks for dropping by. Give Plasma Dave a yell if you want something like those spanner racks. He's got metric and imperial ones available. Yeah, look, have a good week everyone. I'll try and tidy up some of this mess over the next week or two. I've got to get that big lathe out of here first before I can do anything. Once I can get the forklift in and start moving some of the big gear, we'll start to yeah, make a bit of a hole in it, but until then we just got to wait. So once again, thanks for dropping by, and hopefully we'll catch you next week.